Portland, South Portland, Westbrook, and in Falmouth, you'll find a network of 70 miles of walking trails that connect people with places. For 25 years, the nonprofit group Portland Trails has been nurturing and expanding that network in fields and woods, along rivers and the ocean, and in downtown and residential neighborhoods.
The trails are easy to take for granted, but they don't just happen on their own. We talked to Carol Woldrick, the executive director of Portland Trails, about how they contribute to the quality of life in Greater Portland and inspire people even in other countries.
We're standing on East End Beach in Portland, and I just learned, even though I've walked along here hundreds of times in my life, that you actually have a counter on this trail that tells you how many people use it a year.
We do, and we know there are about 340,000 uses of this trail every year, and they peak at certain times of day and certain days of the week, and we know that a lot of people are using this trail actually to commute to and from work.
So this trail alone, 340,000 people, when you add in all the other trails, and you've got a network of about 70 miles, how many people are using Portland Trails?
We estimate it's over 1 million each year.
You really want to focus on getting people to use people power to move around and use fewer buses, cars, motorcycles, trucks, SUVs, etc., right?
Absolutely. It helps the environment, and it also helps public health and people's happiness and mental health as well. And so we have trails at every school in Portland and try to have trails near big employers and service centers.
Do you think that as you try to get the word out, as you try to be a cheerleader for getting people to use the trails, that you're being effective?
We don't do a lot of cheerleading, but if we build a trail near where people live, they're more likely to use it. So we have a trail within a half mile of every residence in Portland, and we're very close to having a trail near within a quarter mile of every residence.
Here's an example of what Portland Trails has that few people know about. Carol Woldrick took me to a trail thousands of people drive by every day, only 50 yards off Congress Street in Portland, just a third of a mile from the entrance to the Portland Jetport.
That people can be surprised by these little gems every day, that they can come across a new place to go explore outside or to walk or just have a quiet moment.
How many miles a week, a month, a year do you walk on Portland Trails?
Wow, that's a good question, Rob. It's got to be somewhere around 1,000, I would say.
You do a lot of what you call walking meetings. How does that work? When you suggest that to people, do they immediately like the idea, or do they think, oh, that's a little odd?
Oh, they definitely think it's odd, but they usually also like it. And it's an excuse to get out of the office or to get out of routine.
Back in September, you went to the World Trails Conference in Spain. First reaction, who knew there was a World Trails Conference? Certainly I didn't. This didn't come as news to you. What happens at the World Trails Conference?
Well, there were delegates from 140 different countries. We were unique in that world of the World Trails Conference, where we're focused on a network of trails in an urban area that people use every day. Most of the folks at the World Trails Conference are focused on these long-distance economic development trails that people visit once a year or once a lifetime.
Were other people at the World Trails Conference interested in what is happening here in Greater Portland? Did they say to you, hey, how can we start to do some of what you are doing?
Yes, it was exciting. I'll be co-leading an international group of folks who will be focused on urban trails around the world. And so we have somebody in Turkey who just reached out last week who's very interested in creating some urban trails in his country. And we have 2 folks from Ireland that are really eager to get going on some trails in urban contexts.
So it's really not an exaggeration to say that Portland Trails is something of an international leader and a model for getting people to use their trails in the best way possible.
Absolutely. We are unique. That's part of what's different about our model, is that we're working with neighborhood groups and neighbors, get their hands dirty, build trails in the areas where they want them, and that is translatable to other countries as well.
And there's no downside. When we walk more, it just is nothing but benefits, right?
Right. There's economic benefits. Businesses that are located near a trail where people are walking and biking do better. Homes that are near walking and biking paths sell for more money. So there's a lot of upsides.
I find that when I'm working on a story, writing a story, and I get to kind of a brick wall, I'll just go for a walk around the block. and it usually helps clear the brain and come up with another idea, another angle. It's one of the many benefits.
It does. It helps a lot. And I know a lot of people have seen you walking downtown, so.
It's going to be on my gravestone. If you'd like to find out more about Portland Trails and the work it does, just head to the 207 section of our website, newscentermaine.com, or our mobile app.
And still ahead,